All right,
Christina,
guys. So
Christina, I have a
we
question.
give me one moment.
All right.
Okay, guys. So we just went through we went through a lot, right? So we just set up our ministry trust, our 508c1A. And then from there, we went and applied for our tax exempt EIN number with the IRS. And then from there, we went and I showed you guys how to become an ordained minister, in 5 minutes. So I know that you guys have a lot of questions, so I'm going to open up the floor for Q&A. So if you can raise your hand, I would appreciate it. I don't know who was talking. I think it was
It was me, Christine. I had a real quick question. Remember where you were mentioning for the tax exempt, say pursuant of the provision, then the chapter of the state statutes. Is that information on my state website where I can get that information? Because you entered yours for Florida.
Yeah, it's in the email. So go to your
Okay.
email with all your resources. You're going to see State Nonprofit Corporation Act.
Mm-hmm.
Pull up that PDF and then go ahead and find your state, and then it'll be right there.
Awesome. Thank you.
You're welcome. All right. Thank you, Noreen, for that amazing question. So now we're gonna go to Annecy.
Hey there, how you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm well, thanks. So quick couple of questions. Who is allowed to have a copy of the trust?
So typically it is your officers and your beneficiaries.
So they get a full copy of the trust, not just the certificate.
Yeah, so ultimately it's up to you, right? You're the trustee. So if you're the trustee and if you have a co-trustee, you do want to give them a full copy, right? Because they are your counterpart. They're equivalent to you, right? So the officers don't need a copy of the trust, right? Officers typically just need like bylaws
Mm-hmm.
so that they know, as far as how to operate. But they don't need a copy. And then the beneficiaries, they can receive a copy. So it's optional if you want to give it to them or not.
Okay. All right. So now I was talking to this lady who helped people get trust I'm sorry, funding for trust, like ministry trust. And she was telling me that my trust would need to be public for us to receive any type of government funding.
Yeah. So that is the case. She's correct.
Okay,
Yeah.
so
So you would have to register it with the Secretary of State. That's how you're gonna make your trust public, and then you would be qualified for governmental funding. So she's absolutely right. And so some people they decide to create two, one for the public, one for the private. So a lot of trustees in our organization and a lot of people who operate 508s, they'll have one nonprofit for the public so that they can qualify for grants easily and for government funding easily with no, pushback. And then they'll have one for the private if they want to do other things, and operate privately. And then sometimes you'll have the private one be an officer in the public one.
private office and the public. Okay. All right. So which means would they intermingling within each other, or
What do you
would
mean by
would they
intermittent?
be working? Will they be exchanging type of like transactions and whatnot?
I mean, so it'll just serve as an officer if you want to. Some people decide not to. So it depends on you if you want to list yourself as the officer or if you want to list another entity, which is another trust as the officer. So they'll just, serve as a board member.
Ah, okay, okay. That makes sense. All right, thank you.
You're welcome. All right, next we got Robert.
Hey, sorry about that. I was looking for the documents, and I couldn't find for my state the same thing you said to go with that form and find the state for the code.
Oh,
I just need the emails resent to me. I'm still going off of, like, I don't have the correct information.
you don't have the emails? Okay. Where is everybody? Dana, do you mind sending Robert the emails? I'm gonna text her. So
Thank you.
you're welcome.
I'm gonna have to go back on this one.
Yeah, I'm gonna send it to Aya. Aya, can you please send Robert the emails for the week? So
Some great information, though. Thank you.
you're welcome. Next we have Terry. Hi, Terry.
Hi, my dear. How you doing?
Great. How are you? Splendid.
Awesome. Yesterday, you mentioned that the 508 is, in terms of federally, it's exempt from taxes, but not on a state or county basis.
Correct.
In order to get that, would I have to apply for 501(c)(3)? Okay, how entailed?
Well, no, you have to apply for tax exemption on the state level and on the county level. And if you want to be exempt from sales tax, if you want to be exempt from property tax, you have to apply for those exemptions.
How entailed is that?
I mean, it's just an application.
Okay.
I mean, it's an application with supporting documents. So every state is different. So, you know, every state is different, every county is different. So it really varies.
Right.
It
And-
really varies. Yeah,
And with
like
that,
some of the applications are 2 pages and some of them are 10 pages.
okay. And would that include water as well, or just property tax? Or could it include water? 'Cause I'm from New York, and New York is taxes are extremely crazy over here. Would that include water as well?
Oh, you guys pay taxes on water?
Well, we have we
Or
have
is
water
water a
bill.
utility? Yeah, that's a
You said-
utility bill. That's
Oh,
not
okay,
that's an expense.
right, gotcha.
Yeah.
And then also too, would the 508 be able to purchase Bitcoin? And if so, when the profit is made on that, is that taxed?
So that is a good question. And we have people who like are, you know, big into crypto and stuff. So it depends on you, but it's considered capital gains. And so as long as you know, keep it inside of the trust and you don't distribute it, then you don't have to, it doesn't trigger a taxable event for you to have to pay taxes on it.
Oh, okay.
So
Awesome.
it's up to you if you are going to consider it income or not. So if you don't consider it income and you just leave it inside of the trust fund, then and you don't distribute it, then you're fine. If you do want to consider it income, then anything over 5,000, you do have to pay taxes on it.
Uh-huh. So, I'm considering putting my property, which draws in a lot of monthly income, into the 508 ministry. Would it be more feasible to do it in the family trust or the ministry trust? Not feasible, but beneficial. It seems I'm swaying toward the ministry trust because I do a lot of ministry stuff and I can deduct a lot of stuff from the ministry. But any drawbacks to one way or the other?
Yeah, the only difference between the it being in the family and it being in the ministry that you should consider is the beneficiary, right? So the beneficiary of your family is your children, right? So when it's time for the property to get disposed of, if the trust is expired, then that property goes to your children versus the ministry, you can't have your children as the beneficiaries, so then you have to have another organization, right? So let's just say that you choose your church, then the property is going to go to your church. Let's just say that you choose your family trust, then the property is going to go to your family trust. So that's the main difference, besides, the exemption and stuff like that, and unique other strategies, but that's the main difference. So it's really like the beneficiary information and how the property is going to be disposed of once the organization is done.
You mentioned that it can go in the ministry trust, it can go to LLC.
Yes.
Okay. Could let's say my family be in charge of that LLC and it goes to them?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Great.
Yes.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Absolutely. All right. Next we have Miss Alania Bay.
Hey, how you doing?
Great. How are you?
I'm good. I'm sorry I wasn't able to attend, but they forgot me. But I just want to ask you a question about the EIN for the private trust, because I dissolved the other thing, the LLC. So the responsible party, would that be the estate name, or is that the trust name, the private trust? What's the responsible party would probably be the estate name, correct? Is this the estate that we're doing on?
The responsible party is the grantor for the business trust and the private family trust. And then for the FBO, the responsible party is any member that's associated with the organization.
So that would be the all caps then, the grantor then, right? Correct?
Yes, yep, whoever the grantor is.
Okay, and then down the line I haven't gotten that far. I wanted to ask you that first. They're asking here, trust filing is it a state under section 645? Would that be a yes?
No, you don't have to put yes. Yeah, you can leave. Yeah,
Okay.
you can leave it unchecked.
Okay, when do I include the name of the trust, the private trust, the legacy of the, what is
Yeah.
that?
So after you put in the address of the trust, then they're gonna ask you additional informations of the entity, and then that's when you put the name, the establishment date, and the county and state.
Okay, all right.
Okay.
Because that's what I'm doing right now, trying to get it out the way.
Yes.
But thank you very much. That was the question I had, because I was confused. I'm like, I better not go no further because I'm not sure.
Absolutely, Miss Bay.
Thank you, sweetheart.
You're welcome. All
But
right.
then they ask, am I the grantor, trustee, or the beneficiary having a material interest for this trust, or am I a third party applying for EIN on behalf of the trust?
Yeah, so which one are you applying for? Are you doing the business trust, the family trust, or
I'm doing the family trust right now.
Oh, okay. Okay, so you have to, for the business trust and the family trust, the responsible party is the grantor. So you have to put the grantor's information there.
Okay, all right. Thank you.
So sometimes if your grantor is an individual, right? So sometimes they might not want to give you their personal information, so you have to have them do it.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you, sweetheart.
You're welcome.
And I really appreciate you, and that's why I continuously come on the lives, because there's always some questions and there's always something new to learn. So I would suggest anybody who is new, take advantage of every time she comes on.
Thank
It
you
helps.
so much.
All right. Take care now.
Miss Bay. I appreciate you.
All right. I appreciate you too, sweetheart.
All right. So next we're gonna go to Michael. Hi, Michael.
Hey, Miss Yvette.
How are you
doing?
I'm great. How are you? It's nice to see you.
Good to see you too.
Right.
I didn't know you speak Spanish.
Oh, wait, how do you know that? I didn't say it.
Yes, I heard. I saw one of your other videos, Y tú sabes español. Y yo
Sí,
no
yo hablo
sabía eso.
español.
¿Tú eres de dónde? ¿Tú eres de
Ah,
dónde?
mi mamá es boricua.
Oh, boricua, qué bueno, qué bueno.
Yes. Okay, you can't be telling my secrets out here in these streets.
I know, I know, I know. So, I'm kind of piggybacking off of a little bit of what Terry was saying with regard to my FBO.
Yeah.
Um, I want to avoid commingling my funds. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? I don't know if that's something that I need to do with my CPA or, hopefully, because like my CPA, I don't know if he's sophisticated enough to be able to handle all the things that I'm hoping to achieve with trying to structure all of this. As I embark on this, there's like, I thought I was going to be done like that, but I'm finding that there's like a lot of other things. And also, once I establish it and you know sign it and sign over my properties and things like that, how much of it am I going to be able to change? You know what I'm saying? And how much is it set in stone where I can't change it? I don't know how easy it is to make changes or modifications to something that I might find out tomorrow that I don't know today. You know what I'm saying? And,
Absolutely.
and I have a second part of my question, but if you want to take them one step at a time.
Yeah, I'll take it one step at a time. Okay, so the first question, well, the first one I'll answer is you can make any changes. There's no restrictions, right? So you can make any kind of amendments, changes, modifications, whatever it is. It's unlimited. There's no
Nice.
yeah, there's there's no limitation to what you can do as far as making any changes, right? So the only thing is that you can't change the name, right, of the entity once it's established. You can't change the establishment date, right, because that's already established.
Established.
And you can't change who the grantor is because that's the person who established it. So those are set in stone, but everything else as far as trustees, beneficiaries, provisions, articles, sections, anything, you can make any of those changes to the declaration, to the indenture, and to any board meetings that you have in the future, okay? So now the next question is about the commingling, right? So there's best practices for you to avoid commingling. So the first one is that one, you need to treat every entity separate, right? So you don't want paperwork from your FBO to be mixed with paperwork, from your business trust or from your, personal life, okay? The second thing is when it comes to the actual funds, you're going to open up bank accounts. These are going to be separate bank accounts. So you need one bank account per trust, okay? You're not going to just create one account and be running all three trusts in one account.
Got you.
Single trust needs its own account. You're going to open up an irrevocable trust account, okay? So that's going to be considered your trust fund. So you can open it up with any bank that offers trust accounts. Not every single bank offers trust accounts. So the account that you can open is a checking account, a savings account, a money market account, a cash management account. It could be with a bank, it could be with a credit union, it could be with a brokerage, a company. So
Schwab?
yeah, yeah. So that's another thing, right? So you're gonna have separate accounts. So another thing is that don't choose a financial institution that you're already banking with personally. So if you're with Wells Fargo, then you go to a different bank to open up your trust accounts. You can have your trust accounts. And so some people, they have literally gone to 3 different banks to open up the 3. I don't recommend that because that's a lot of work. I recommend you just get one bank and open all 3 accounts in one bank, and that is a separate bank from your personal bank. That's going to put you in a position to where you can avoid commingling. So now you have to understand that anything associated with business is going to be a business expense, right? So if you have investment properties, if you're dealing with crypto, if you're dealing with your LLCs, then all of those expenses are going to be segregated, right? So those are all going to be flowing through your business trust fund account, okay? So that is separate, proper, record keeping. Like you said, you have a CPA, all those things, right? So business is business. Now, we'll move on to family. Anything associated with family, it's going to be flowing through the family trust account, right? So whatever assets that you have inside of that account is considered operating expenses. So
Got
if
it.
you have your primary residence in there, because it's owned by the trust, all expenses associated with that primary residence are operating expenses for the trust.
So you're saying for the FBO, right?
I'm talking about the family trust right now.
Well, because
If you put it in the FBO, then you can register it that way.
yeah, so with the FBO, I want to avoid heavy taxation, you know,
Mhm.
on my primary residence, like Terry was saying in New York here, the taxes are ridiculous. I mean, like before I even get to my mortgage, I think I'm paying like $1,800 just in my taxes, So, I want to try to avoid that. And then, the other thing that really concerns me is that like I think all of them are like 37%, you know, I, and I'm not sure how I'm gonna, you know, I really need to, I might have to change my CPA because I'm not sure he's gonna be
So the
able to do.
CPA that I recommend, she is based in New York.
Oh, right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay.
So you have the link in your email.
Okay.
So you can contact her, and she is a regular when it comes to doing taxes for trusts.
Excellent. Excellent.
Mhm. She's
Okay.
based in
Thank
New
you.
York, so she understands what you're going through.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So, so instead of me doing it in the family trust, I could put my primary in the FBO, the
Yes.
501c18A.
Yeah, the 508c1A. Yes, you can.
I'm
And
dyslexic, sorry.
no, don't you worry about it. Uh, um, so yes, you can put your primary residence into the FBO, and now the FBO would be responsible for everything associated with that asset financially, okay? So that means mortgage, that means taxes, that means utilities, that means everything, okay? And all of that is going to be deductible if you are going to file taxes, right? But it's a tax exempt organization. So do you qualify? Yes. You can only qualify for tax exemption of property taxes for only one property. So if you put 10 properties into that FBO, only one of them can be exempt, okay? So you have multiple pieces of real estate, so you can only do one house per FBO.
I just want my primary
Okay.
in the FBO, and then I
Okay.
could put my other properties in the other, maybe the holding one, and I think that's the business.
Yeah, but then you could also create multiple FBOs, so you don't have to limit yourself, okay? So yeah, so then you have to go to the county and apply for property tax exemption because that property is owned by a nonprofit that's tax exempt, okay?
Okay, okay.
All right.
Christina, thank you so much.
You're so
I'm
welcome.
here in the studio.
Yeah.
I'm like back and forth, so I apologize for not having my camera on and interacting a little bit more. But I'm at work. This is, like I'm actually able to do this because management, they're kind of away right now.
Yes, I
But
love it. I know. I was so surprised to see you. I'm like, wait a minute, he's out in the open while he's at work.
I know, I know. Thank
Yeah,
you so much, Christina.
you welcome, Michael.
Have a
I'll talk to you soon. All right, cool. Who we have next? Ron. Hi, Ron. How are you?
Hey, how you doing? How you doing,
Great,
ladies?
great, great. Awesome, awesome. Nice to see you.
I just need a little clarification and some advice. This is my
Yes,
first week in the mentorship, so I'm literally starting everything off the ground.
yes.
So let me just run it down to you. I
Okay.
ultimately want to get into real estate, dealing with multifamily properties, and in order for me to get to that point, My whole purpose for joining this mentorship was basically to get additional set of income, and my spirit telling me to go towards life insurance first, at least to start the process. Okay. Now, my question in reference to setting up a trust, I guess what I would like to know is how soon should I be setting it up? Because it's going to take a process of learning, throughout the course of this year. So how soon should I be trying to set these things up? Because I just want to keep my affairs in order.
Yeah, absolutely. So, what you have to think about is how soon do you want to protect your assets, right? And if you are new, like for example, let me ask you, do you have an LLC already, or do you have a company? Not yet? Okay. All right, cool. So the next thing is you want to build that foundation, right? So let's just say, I know you said that you were going to get into to insurance, right? And so the individuals that I know that get into the insurance space, they open up like, a financial, they use a LLC to open up like a financial company, right? Because now you're a financial, what do they call it? Financial, not financial advisor, financial, somebody jump in and help me if you can. But licensed professional, that's the word I was trying to use. Sorry, Ron. You're a financial licensed professional now, right? So they actually operate their insurance business through an LLC, right? In order for you to open up the LLC, you want to create the owner of the LLC first, right? So that means that you want to create that business trust first that is going to then create the LLC, okay, or establish it. Because initially, if you go out tomorrow and establish that LLC, now you're putting your personal name on there, right? And if you're putting your personal name on there, now you're putting yourself in a liable situation to where if somebody sues your business, they can come after you, right? As an individual. So you don't want that to happen. So you want the trust to be that first layer of protection between you and your company, right? Just in case. So the best practice is if you haven't gone there yet, to set up an LLC through the state, then what you want to do is create the business trust first so that once you do your articles of organization, you can list the trust as the owner, as the authorized member of that entity. Okay. So that's another thing to consider. Now, if you have personal assets like a house or or insurance or cash, policy, any of those things, then you want to set up the family trust so that you can start protecting those assets. So I would tell you foundationally, the trust it needs to be the foundation of your structure, right? So now you are creating this entire structure that's going to be geared towards you being this financial professional. And so you want the trust to be the foundation of the structure that you're creating now, okay? So a lot of people, they do it backwards. And so you're at a pivotal point where you can do it right the first time.
Right. And that's really my aim. And maybe it's because I'm a Capricorn. I mean, I'm too organized in my thinking. So I just don't want.
I'm a Capricorn too, so we here.
Right.
Capricorn too.
So, yeah. So like, yeah, my thing is just this week, it's really like been kind of overwhelming with my workflow and everything. So I'm just trying to keep everything in order and just know what I need to focus on first. That's really my main thing.
Yeah,
so,
absolutely. Yeah. So, did you get your login credentials? Because I would tell you to like dive into the course and then go and review the recordings and stuff, and just take it little by little, because I know this information is overwhelming, and I try my very best to break it down so that we could understand it as easy as possible. But just take it, you know, step by step, one step at a time. So some people, the way I teach it is, hey, do all three at once. But if you just need to do one by one, then do it that way. So if you want, for you, if you have assets, do the family trust first to protect them. If you don't have assets yet, then do the business trust so that you can get the business off the ground.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
You're welcome, Ron. All right. Next we have Annecy.
Yeah, hi, how you doing?
Good.
All right, so for what we were talking about previously, if I had to make my ministry trust public, can I use the same language I use for the private one, or should I just have it done by a CPA instead?
So your organization, all you have to do is just go to the Secretary of State, and then you have to create that nonprofit, right? And so you are still going to use your 508 as your foundation. So you're still going to use your same template and everything like that. The only thing is that after you legalize it, you're going to go through the Secretary of State and you're going to register it as a nonprofit.
So just use everything that we just did today.
Correct.
All right, now for this one, after doing this, wouldn't that put my private trust in jeopardy? People wouldn't think that maybe the private is probably the same as the
So you don't have to upload it, right? So
okay.
they're not going to actually see the trust constitution and bylaws.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so all you're doing is you're making the entity, like the name and the officers, public.
That's it. And
Yeah,
do
not
I
the
have to use
actual
the same
contract,
name or
not
just
the
use a different
actual
name?
contract.
Should I use the same name or different name?
So if you have two, they are considered two separate entities. You can't use the same name.
Okay. And now there's something I did. I think it's because I didn't understand exactly what we were doing. Because just a second, honey. Okay, go ahead. You can go to your room. So now what I'm thinking is for my trust that I did, I hate when I lost my train of thought. In case of the officers, you said just put those officers in and then just make it public, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now, there's something that I did and I wanted to make sure that it's okay. When I was forming those trust, what I did was I formed it in Delaware, but I live in Massachusetts.
Mm-hmm.
So is that gonna be an issue for me to do that, or?
No, it's not an issue. So the residency of the trust can be anywhere, domestic
Okay.
or territories. So you're totally fine with that, right?
All right.
So that's not an issue at all. So now, the residency of the trust is in Delaware. So do you want to also establish it, like the public one, are you gonna establish that in Delaware as well?
From what she told me, if I want to get funding from the government, I want to do it in the state where I am.
Okay. Yeah.
So
So,
yeah,
is she in the state where you are?
no, she's not.
Oh, okay.
No, I think she's somewhere. She's not in Miami. I know that. I think she's in Georgia, somewhere in Georgia. Yeah,
Oh, okay.
yeah.
All right. So, I mean, definitely, like I always tell, so people usually they will go based off of, you know, their residency, but she's most likely telling you that because um wherever you're going to be doing business, you have to be registered in that state, right? So if you're going to be doing business with your nonprofit in, where are you, Maryland?
No, I'm in Massachusetts.
You're Mass, okay. So if you're going to be doing business in Mass, right?
Mhm.
but your organization is registered in Delaware, then you're not dealing legally because you can't be doing business in a state that you're not registered in. So if you're registered in Delaware, right, then you can only do business in Delaware physically, right? So
Right.
you would have to register it as a foreign entity in Mass to do business in Mass.
Okay.
Yeah.
So which that you're talking about the private one, right?
The public.
The public one. Okay. So the private one can stay in Delaware and no issues.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Fine.
So then when I form the new entity, which is the new trust, then I do that in Massachusetts.
Mm-hmm.
All
Yes.
right. Yeah, Massachusetts is just so expensive to do a trust or to do any type of corporation.
I know. Isn't it like almost $600?
Almost $600, yeah. So it's just like that's why I did all of my LLCs and I did Missouri or Delaware. So that's why I chose Delaware. But
Yeah.
yeah, that's basically what my question was.
Yeah. All right. That's awesome. So let me know if you need any, if you have any follow-up questions with that, and I'll move on to the next person. Miss Alania Bay.
Hey, I just have one question I ran into. The private trust asking the date trust funded, and it won't let me go past that.
Oh
What date
yeah.
is that? Is that the date I'm born?
So you have to put the day that you created the trust. So you have to put month and year.
Okay, that would have been my birthday.
Yep. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yep. Uh-huh. So put month and year.
Okay, so
Okay.
I can put 2024. I don't have to put my birthday, right? Because
No,
that's a
yeah.
long time ago.
No, yeah, you have to put the month.
The February and then the
And
year of when I created the trust. But the estate was created when I was born, but that was in 53, right? Wouldn't that or
oh, so then you have to put the year. So you have to put month and year of whenever it was created.
so that's the Susquehanna trust that you're speaking of, right? The one that the social through Social Security?
Yeah, so is that the one that okay, so whatever trust that you are applying for the EIN, that particular trust is where you put the month and year that that particular trust was created.
Okay, yes, so that would have been the day I was born, because that's when it was created.
Okay, so then put month
I'm
and year.
assuming I mean, I just don't want to put the wrong thing, but I think they would probably understand. Well, if I put my birth,
Yeah, but they don't let you put an actual day, so you have to put month and year.
okay, all right, I'm gonna just put my birthday. If
Yeah.
it's wrong, oh well. Because I know that's the date that it was established when we were born. So I mean, I can't think of any. Let me press continue, see what they say.
Okay.
Year cannot be more than 1 year in the future or more than 25 years in the past. So I need to go back, what, 25 years?
Well, so
No more, it cannot be more than 1 year in the future or more than 25 years in the past.
yeah, so I mean 25 years is not accurate. So sometimes if you're having discrepancies with the online application, then you have to do the physical application. You have
Oh,
to download that SS4 form and then physically fill it out, manually fill
yeah,
it out.
because it couldn't have been, it wouldn't have been, well, so you say don't use 25 years?
It's not accurate.
Okay. So I don't know what to put.
Yeah.
I mean, how did you guys do that? I mean, did you use your birthday or did you use the I mean, what actually is the date the trust was funded? I mean, if we're just doing this trust, how could it be, when I was born, or unless that's the birth certificate they're speaking about?
Um so Flo said, what are you trying to do? So So you're applying for
For my private trust EIN, yeah,
okay. And so you created the trust?
yes,
Okay. So when did you create the trust?
with you guys, February 20. Well, that's the date we did it. I mean,
Okay, so put the month February and put the year 2024.
okay, let's
Okay.
see how that works, right?
Okay. So in the
Okay, here we
meantime,
go.
yeah, in the meantime, I'm gonna take another
It works. It worked. Yes.
Yes.
Good job. Thank you, sweetheart. That's
You're
what I'm
welcome.
saying. It's always good to come back, I tell you. Thank
Yes,
you so very much.
you're welcome.
Oh, I feel so much better.
Okay, Miss Deborah, how are you?
Hello.
Hi, how are you?
Good. I'm sitting here at a doctor's appointment trying to get my little question in before 1 o'clock.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
what I wanted to know is I already have an established irrevocable trust. I've had it a couple of years, and I was wondering if it should go into one I just created, or should that go into it?
Okay, so so if you want to tie them together, then whichever one that you just created, you can make the established one a beneficiary of one of the new ones that you created.
Okay.
Yeah.
And also, see, that was one question. What was my other one? I forgot. Oh yeah, I know what it is. Okay, when you were talking about the private trust and the business trust, you stated that the grantor had to be an entity, right?
No, I said it can. So it doesn't have,
It can be.
it could be a natural person or it can be an entity. Yes.
Okay. So in my mind, I'm thinking the end just can be the grantor. Is that correct?
Uh, the what? Is that
The
the name of the
all,
entity?
the all caps of me, of my name.
Yeah, so the thing about that is that it's going to appear as if you're the grantor and the trustee.
Okay.
Yeah,
But technically it is an entity, it's not me though, you know what I mean? So
it is.
So the negative behind that is what? They just gonna say that it's the same person?
Pretty much. Yeah. So you're gonna look like the grantor and the trustee.
Okay. So in that regard, I may need you. I don't have one.
That's fine. So
Okay.
I don't mind being your grantor. Flo also she also has volunteered to be a grantor as well. So Flo is our ambassador for the Wealthy Trustee Program.
Okay, because I'm kind of like trying to do the documents, but I don't have anybody to put in that spot. So but okay, that's all I need.
That's absolutely okay. So I've served as a grantor for many trustees.
Okay. Well, I will be reaching out to you when I, I've been going to work every day too. So I've been leaving work at right at 10 o'clock to run home and try to get on the live with y'all. So
okay.
And now I got a doctor's appointment I have to be at 1 o'clock in like 15 minutes. So I'm glad I got my call, my questions in real quick.
Yeah.
But you all have a blessed day, and hello to all the wealthy trustees.
Yay!
And thank you again.
Yes, and Miss Deborah was actually our winner for March, you guys. So
yes, I was. Thank you, Lord.
She entered into the giveaway on YouTube and she won. So she has been in the program. So we are just so happy to have you. So I love it. So we are going to be doing a giveaway next month in May. So let your friends and family know because I'm going to be posting it in 2 weeks.
Yeah. So, hey, Christine, and when you spent that wheel, girl, I won by a hair, didn't I? It clicked on there so slow. I'm like, oh Lord. The Lord had to touch it and wind it on around just a little bit.
Right.
Oh Lordy.
Yes.
But you all have a
Congratulations
good day.
again. You
And
too.
all right, I'm getting off so I can go to my doctor's appointment.
Okay, have a good
All
one,
right,
Miss Deborah.
all right.
All
You
right,
too.
we'll
Bye-bye.
we'll go to Terry. Hey, Terry.
Okay,
I
great.
got it.
So,
I got it.
Congratulations, Miss Bay.
awesome, awesome. So every year, if you have property, you know, you can depreciation, you can deduct depreciation, the taxes. If you put it in the trust, is that still available to you?
Yeah. What?
Oh,
Yeah.
so to me personally. So if I put my property in one of either the trusts.
Yeah, I mean, so you could do depreciation with LLCs. So yeah, you can do depreciation, and you'll see it too. So if you look on the 1041 inside of the course, or if you just Google it, you'll see depreciation.
Oh, okay. Great. Thanks, Dan.
All right, welcome. And then we'll end it with Annecy, and then it's going to be a wrap for today. I'll give you guys your homework, and I will see you guys tomorrow. So
can you please send me your thing for Texas, please? The information for Texas in June.
Yeah,
so I can start preparing for it.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. I'm gonna have.
Don't forget now.
I won't. Yes. Okay. Annecy, you have a question?
Yes, because I've been meaning to ask you that question for a while now. So how does that work exactly? If we were gonna, let's say we already have our trust, and then we're gonna start our corporation, which the corporation needs an EIN, right? Is the name of the trust only gonna be in the corporation, or is it gonna be also in the EIN also? Can the trust apply for an EIN?
Okay, so an entity with an EIN cannot apply for another EIN. Okay, so that's one portion of it. But it is allowed if you get pre-authorization. So you do have to contact the IRS and let them know that you want an EIN entity in order to apply for another EIN. Okay, so once you get approval, then you can go to the SS4 form and then apply for it.
So SS4, you said?
Yes.
Okay. So just all I have to do is just call the IRS and let them know. Just
And
check it out.
you have to get permission.
Okay, then. Thank you so much. Appreciate
You're
it.
welcome. All right, I think I have 2 questions in the chat, and then let me give you your homework. Let me see, what was the question I saw here? Yeah, okay, so Flo answered it. So yes, that's true. The trustee cannot be the protector. The protector has to be an independent adverse individual that is not you and not related to you by blood or marriage. All right, so Laquita asks, any business that requires a license has to be registered or licensed with the state in an LLC. So my business trust owns the LLC, and the business trust has to be in the public. Can it be a nonprofit? So the business trust is going to be on the Secretary of State as the authorized member of the LLC, and it could either be the business trust or it could be the ministry trust. So it could be any one of the trusts that you want. So can it be a nonprofit? I mean, I'm not sure what you mean by that, but can what be a nonprofit? Can it be the nonprofit trust?
Yeah, I meant the business trust. The
ministry
508.
Yes, it can. Yeah, that's what I thought. Yep. Yes, it can.
Okay, thank you. All
right. For the 3, well, okay, that I don't see any other. Do you have well? So Latoya asks, if you have a trust, do you still need a will? So everything that's inside of a will, you can put it in a trust. So the will become obsolete once you have everything that you want inside of the trust. All right. And if you have children that will be beneficiaries, can the stipulation who will take care of them if they're underage, can that be in the trust? Yes, that can be one of the provisions under the beneficiary section. So under the beneficiary section, just add another provision that says, you know, if the beneficiary is underage, who you're going to appoint as the caretaker for the minor. All right. And I think that is it. Let me see, is there another one?
Can I ask one question real quick?
Use the sole prop structure in the business trust. Yep, go for it.
Are you gonna have like a strategy session? Like what we're gonna do? Like I don't know how to put it, like after we structure all the trusts, the business trust, and then the IUL, how do we operate everything? You know, are you gonna have like a strategy session?
So after you're done setting up everything, then you'll book a private call with me. So a private strategy call with me. So if you want me to look at your trust before you get them notarized, if you want to share your structure with me or whatever, you know, whatever that you need clarity on outside of this workshop, you book a private call with me and we go through everything.
And the other thing is, if you have a trust, well, let's say you get some funding from the government, right? To go to one of your nonprofits that's public, right? Can you take those funds and put them in the private?
So you have to understand that your public entity, you have to have like proper record keeping and everything like that. So you have to have certain guidelines of what you do with those public funds that you use, right?
Right.
So it just depends on how you structure it, right? Because some public charities, you got to donate 80% of what comes in.
Oh.
So you have it depends on the type of nonprofit that you are going to operate.
Okay.
All right, guys. Let's see. Miss Bay, do you have another question? Because I see your hand is up. And do I need to create a trust per property? So Charles wrote, do I need to create a trust per property that I wish to move properties into? I'm also at my 9 to 5. So you can have multiple properties inside of one trust, or you can have one trust per property. So when you are doing this, you have to think of litigation, right? In the event that somebody sues your trust, do you want 5, 10, 15 properties in there? Because all of those assets are going to be up for grabs, right? So you want to, I will tell you best practice is one asset per trust, right? But is it realistic? It becomes very challenging to maintain if you have multiple assets, right? So, so with that being said, it depends on the trust that you're also using as well. Are you going to be putting these properties in the business trust or the FBO? So if it's the FBO, then it is one property per trust if you want to utilize that strategy. For the business trust, you can have multiple properties. So it's up to you, you know, how many properties you want to put inside of your trust. All right, guys, so we're gonna wrap it up. So, Terry, do you have a question? I can't hear.
Just a suggestion. Is it possible if you had multiple properties in a trust to strip your assets by putting a lien against it so that even if they broke the trust, they wouldn't, even if they got the asset, it would be stripped, number one. And if they won the verdict, they could get hit with a phantom tax, where they would be hit with a tax of, let's say, $1 million, a tax for getting that, but there's no assets to it. There's nothing to it. So that might, I don't know, if it might be a strategy to put a friendly lane, if you could, on it. And there's probably a way to do that.
Yeah, I heard of that. I've never personally done it, but I've heard of people doing that where they put the asset. That's just double protection too. Because now at the end of the day, they're gonna have to go through you if they want to dispose of that property. So absolutely. All right, guys, so we have homework. So the homework for today is, now we have officially finished all 3 of our trusts. So on Monday, we established our business trust. Tuesday, we established our family trust. And today we established our 508c1a. So go ahead and put inside of our Facebook group, go ahead and post and let us know when you're going to finalize your trust, when you're going to get them notarized, right? When are you going to legalize your trust? Why? Because we want to hold you accountable. I want to hold you accountable. Dana, our program director, wants to hold you accountable. Aya, our liaison, she wants to hold you guys accountable. So go ahead in the Facebook group, put in a post and let us know, for those of you that just finished your 3rd trust today, when are you going to finalize and notarize and legalize your 3 trusts? Let us know, okay? So that's the homework for tonight. So tomorrow, what we're doing is you're going to receive an email at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and we are going to be going over, 1, we're going to apply for the EIN for the business trust. So please have the grantor's information, or have the grantor, on the call so that they can go through that process step by step with you, okay? So that is the first thing that we're going to do. And then we are going to go through board meetings. So we're going to have a board meeting for our trust, for all 3 of our trusts. And the business item that we're going to be discussing is opening and operating the bank accounts. Why? Because now that you finalize the 3 trusts, what you want to do is you want to open up that trust fund. So we're going to be going through the operation of you actually opening it up, and what the procedures are going to be for the operation of that trust fund account, okay? And then we're going to go through promissory notes, where you are going to document how much you're going to fund the trust fund with, and you're going to document it as a loan so that you're not triggering taxes, inside of the trust and then outside once you get those funds back. And then after that, we're going to go through business credit for establishing credit for the business trust, okay? So we're going to have our guest speaker. His name is Brian Dorsey. He is a business credit and funding specialist. He is ours here in-house in the Wealthy Trustee program. So he is a wealthy trustee, and so he's going to be navigating and teaching us how to establish business credit and how to get funding for our entities, okay? So either through your LLCs that's owned by the trust or through the trust, okay? So we'll learn that entire process tomorrow. So just look out for your email, because you're going to receive the Zoom link and the resources that you need for tomorrow, okay? So with that being said, you guys have an amazing day, and I will see you guys on Zoom tomorrow.